what doesn't serve us regarding our identities and how we've become identified with ourselves, with the world around us, with people, places, ways of being. And yeah, today I would just like to first of all welcome everybody in and acknowledge the fact that we are on I am personally on Wurundjeri country in Melbourne at the moment, and just to acknowledge the original custodians, the elders, past, present, and emerging, and give my gratitude and my love for Australia and for the people of Australia, the original peoples of Australia. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on Harmeni, and yeah, everybody who's watching, thank you so much for joining. Hey Samantha, hey Claire. I hope everybody's doing well. Just hit that heart button as we bring on Harmeni and we dive into this beautiful conversation. Here we go. Awesome, here we are. Let's just make sure we've got, okay, gallery view, we're both in. How are you going? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us, Harmeni Beautiful. It's so good to have you.
Awesome, such an honor to be here. You know, very excited to be here with you today and with everyone else included.
Yeah, well, I feel like this, as I was saying before, we had a little bit of a discussion just before jumping on, and we were talking about how massive this is. Like, this is such a big topic, and we're going to have, hopefully maybe in future, we'll have another separate event, even just discussing this one topic, because it's so big, and there's just so much that we can dive into regarding identity, and you know, healing ourselves and knowing and understanding ourselves and mastering all aspects of who we are and unifying all those elements into one beautiful whole. And yeah, as I was saying as well, I feel like you are such a beautifully wholesomely embodied being. Like, you've clearly done so much work on yourself, and you know, as we grow and as we evolve, we're constantly doing more and more, but already, like, I feel like you have such a grounded, wholesome energy that is just a beautiful space holding being, and you have such a beautiful balance of both, of, you know, all elements of life within you. So I personally, because I haven't really heard much of your story, and I know that everybody else in this container will benefit so much from hearing who you are, what you're all about, what you do, your journey. Yeah, so if you're ready to dive in, shall we do that?
I mean, straight in. Man, family, you know, I'm a multi-dimensional being having a human experience. You know, I live in Austin, Texas, and you know, just to share with you a little bit about myself and who I am as a human being. You know, I was born in the United States, here in Austin, Texas. I was born in San Marcos. I was raised in Austin, Texas, majority of my life. Still here. 27 years old, and you know, I've had a lot of experiences. You know, 27. I'm gonna be 27 years old this year, and it's been a journey. You know, of self-evolution, self-mastery, and spirituality as well. Just growing up in this world, you know, I feel like I can relate to a lot of people nowadays that are also experiencing an awakening in their lives, you know, awakening to who they are, because we've been programmed for so many years to be separated from unity, to be separated from the truth, you know, to be separated from the divine, and that's not the case. You know, we're all divine beings. You know, we all come from our creator, you know, and that's what I'm here to just share with everybody, you know, my journey, because I've experienced my challenges. I've experienced I faced my demons, you know, being in such in a corrupted world, you know, trying to find the light. You know, I've been the light. I've always been the light, but you know, the influence that's been around made me believe that the opposite. You know, so this journey, like just including like everyone else, they're in that self evolution and that self mastery to find who they are. You know, and let me just say this, that who you are is a divine being. It's a divine being. I say that with all my heart, because even speaking about this topic, healing identity wounds, a lot of us have felt misplaced in society. You know, a lot of us have felt that we don't belong. You know, rather what it could have been in a family situation. It can be in your family. It could have been at school. It could have been at work. It could have been anywhere. You know, just feeling misplaced. You know, and you're not alone. You know, you're not alone, and I'm here to speak my truth and my experiences with everyone, because we're here to create and master our lives and our reality. We are here to remember who we are, you know, and this is such an important topic for everyone. And I'm just, you know, I'm just getting warmed up. This is just the beginning, you know, just expressing a little bit, you know, of my background and what I've had to experience, and I've seen other people experience in their life as well, you know. So I'm a voice not only for myself but for others who come from diversity backgrounds, for people that have felt a minority to society. You know, there's a lot of people out here that want and need their voices to be heard, you know. So I'm just very honored to be here to express, you know, and help you identify your wounds, you know. So wanted to share that with you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's I think that's a really beautiful way to start, is really to acknowledge that we are all divine beings. Every single one of us, regardless of who we are, um, in our physical bodies, in our place in the world, geographically, you know, regarding race, gender, like all these different elements of that make up who we are. It's all divine. Everything comes from the one source, right? You know, we are all made up of the same stuff, and being able to recognize ourselves in others, and being able to say, like, regardless of their background, their slightly different background to ours, we're all in this together. We're all part of the one. We're all worthy. We're all loved. We're all beautiful individuals, and all part of this whole together. And there's so many people who just need to um, recognize their divinity and recognize how beautiful they are. And that's like the level of self-love that we, you know, our society has conditioned us to believe that we're not really worthy of loving ourselves, unfortunately. But that's, you know, there's no like blame or placement of judgment. It's just this time now where we get to actually ascend and move into a different frequency of love, of being heart-centered and loving ourselves first, and knowing that we are beautiful individuals. We are, you know, aspects of source, of spirit.
Of course, you know, I've been diving in deep, you know, God, universe, you know, Christ consciousness, spirit, source. You know, to me is, even this morning, like I was talking to one of my friends and I was educating him about the quantum field, and I was educating him about source, and it's including myself, because I feel like it's something that I meditate and tap into every single day, because we all have access to the divine. We all have access to God. We all have access to source, Christ consciousness, spirit. and it's a practice as well, which comes with our self-mastery and our evolution in life. And just hearing myself share this knowledge and wisdom with my friend, my brother, it brings so much light and joy, because when you're tapping into that divine source, it's love, it's unity, it's creation, it's balance, it's structure, and it's the truth. And that truth breaks you free from all the illusion, right? And then that when you begin to release, it's like you're birthing a new life. You know what I mean? So I think that's also awareness that I want to share with everyone when it comes to speaking about God, speaking about the universe, speaking about source. We all have access to God. We all have access to the universe, right? And I have to say these different words, because everyone has different labels.
Mm.
Everyone was raised different. Everyone was brought up different. So everyone connects to God, connects to the universe, connects to the divine differently. And we need to respect that. We need to honor that. And there is no separation with that. There is no separation with that. And we live in such an important time where we need to spread that truth to everyone, to create that unity here on our planet, because that is the truth. We're all children of the Most High. And I think that comes a lot with healing our identity. Where are we from? Who am I? You're a divine being. Where do I come from?
Absolutely. And it's really that question of where I come from. That's when you asked me the other day when we had our conversation, and you were like, what does healing identity wounds mean to you? And I was like, well,
Yeah.
well, my main probably, the biggest thing that I've struggled with throughout my life is the question of where do I come from? Who am I regarding like my homeland? Because for those of you watching either live or on the replay, probably don't know, I'm actually originally from Africa. I was born in Zimbabwe and raised there, and then moved to New Zealand when I was 12 with my family. And so I've spent most of my adult life not really knowing who I was in terms of my home, my community, my people, and I've spent the last 6 years at least, really on and off, traveling the world, trying to find my homeland, trying to find somewhere that I feel home, trying to find my tribe, really just wanting to find the group of people where I feel at home and accepted, and just accepted for being who I am, and be able to just express myself the way that I do without feeling judged, without feeling, as minorities, for me, moving out of Zimbabwe was actually a race thing. That was because myself and my family were white. We had to leave because of the color of our skin, essentially, because we weren't technically, we weren't Indigenous people. But I was still born there. That was still my home. That was still, my identity was a Zimbabwean. I am a Zimbabwean, but I've never had a Zimbabwean passport. I've had a British passport. I've had a New Zealand passport. New Zealand was a really beautiful place for me to grow up through my teenage and young adult years, and was a really beautiful place for as like a support structure. The system there is a really good support structure, but through those years I really struggled to find my tribe, my people, to feel accepted, and so I've spent most of my adult life looking for my people and feeling like, hopping around the globe, connecting with different groups, and in some ways feeling accepted and really not in others. And so that's been a really big part of my journey, is like trying to find home. What is home to me? What is what is that feeling? Where is that place? And I realized, even though part of the reason that I love Australia so much is because it does feel like home in many ways, because it reminds me of how I grew up, the climate, the people, the history is very similar in many ways as well. So I do feel at home here. But really what I realized is home is a feeling within. It's a feeling that we can give ourselves, feeling whole and accepting ourselves and loving ourselves for who we are, and having the people around us, our tribe, our community, and feeling safe and feeling heard and loved and accepted by those people around us, that's really, really important. But that starts from within, and having an acknowledgement of who we are, and knowing and loving ourselves. That's really where it starts. And so it's been this healing journey for me, and coming to a realization of, I am a human being, I am an earthling, but I'm also from the stars. I'm also, I have these past life experiences dating back, like, who knows? I don't even know. Like, this quest for finding my home on earth, I realized over the last year or so, like, it dates way further back than I had any idea. I'm from Zimbabwe, but I'm actually from, like, way before that. So
I'm here to find my home.
yeah, exactly. We're from the stars. So it's a big thing. Like, it's really big. There's so much to it. But I'd love to hear your journey of your healing process, and how you've come to have that balance and that feeling of, like, or how you feel now with your identity, and how you feel, like, grounded and safe and at home. Like, do that feeling of home within yourself, is that something that you'd like to speak into and describe, or what comes regarding that?
I would love to share with everyone. So as a human being, when I came into this beautiful physical world, I was born a woman. I was born a woman. And I was also raised in a Christian family. My dad is a pastor. My mom, being a pastor's wife, and just I was raised into Christianity, and my whole life I dedicated my life going to church, and I was always different. I was a different person, even when I was going to school, and I just realized a lot about my sexuality, as a woman, and I was attracted to other women, and I was attracted to I was attracted to women and to my parents, and other people, my surroundings thought that it wasn't okay, that it wasn't right, and I used to have long hair, and I used to wear dresses going to church, and just thinking I was doing the right thing, following just the principles and the values that Christianity had, church had, and society had, because society, first, let me just share, that I consider myself a non-binary person, because my whole life, like, I've been judged, and compared and labeled, with so many labels. There's so many labels that have been used for, for a person like me. And, I'm not here to symbolize anything, or because to me, we're a community as a whole, right? Because even like the LGBT community itself, like I've also had my ups and downs with with that community as well, not finding my unity with certain individuals, so it's all about the consciousness that everyone is emitting, right? It's the consciousness that you currently hold. So even just the LGBT community or Christianity or just any group out there, that it's all about labels, it's all about separation, it's all about one thing or another. And I've never felt placed, I've never felt grounded in any of those communities, in any of those places, even if they symbolize something good, even if they symbolize something for a purpose. I want to express that it's very important for us to all of us be united, for every single person to respect everyone's diversity, everyone's uniqueness. So just to go back a little bit, as far as like my experiences growing up as a child, I remember like in school, like, because I've been traumatized. I was traumatized because even the people that I look up to were telling me to be somebody I didn't want to be, even in school as well. And I know that a lot of people that are watching this live or are going to watch this replay, you've probably been under pressure your whole entire life by your parents, your peers, or the influences that you allowed in your life telling you to be somebody, labeling you to be somebody, and I feel like this world is doing that to a lot of people, and that and I can get deeper into that. I can get really deeper into that, but because that's where self-mastery comes in, when you start to remember who you are, when you don't let the world, we don't let I'm just gonna say, even education itself, is schools or the government or any group out there or any influence out there trying to make you something that you're not. I'm all about encouraging you to step into your power, to step into your truth, to building that legacy for yourself, that unity consciousness, right? And I share that because, like I said, I felt misplaced, and I don't. It's not really. I'm not gonna. I don't blame. I can't blame anybody other than myself and my level of consciousness. So when you become aware of where you put yourself in your journey, and you start to realize I placed myself here. So even when growing up, and we had to discover these things on our own, because now that I'm healing, now that I'm aware, I realize that the people that I love and the people that I was surrounded, what they weren't conscious as well. So I can't blame them for the reality that we were all manifesting and creating together, because we were unconscious, right? So awareness is key, knowledge is key, and it's time for all of us to start speaking up, to start spreading that awareness. Because as a kid, I was going to school, and I remember like just wanting to be different. And like, I remember like when I came out in middle school, like my friends, like they were judging me. I was basically judged by like a lot of my people that I thought were my friends, and that never stopped me. It never stopped me from being true. Was I wounded? Yes, I was wounded, but that never stopped me from being who I was. And I knew that somehow God was going to lead me the way, that somehow God was going to help me, to continue to stand in my truth and continue to create the life that I want. And I feel like I've been in that journey ever since then. And now I'm just like so empowered, because I've battled so much, so many challenges, so many situations in my life. And I feel like we do live in a world that just is trying to like prevent people to be happy, to not be in harmony. Because if I had to deal with that as a child, and I experienced and I seen my family go through it as well, right? Because we've seen our ancestors, it's a pattern, so when you start to realize these patterns, you start to think about, you don't just think about yourself, you start to think about everyone else around you, right? So it just keeps flowing. it's keep flowing. It's life, you know, and I'm really happy, you know, that I'm able to share this awareness with everyone, you know, to be mindful of everyone's journey, everyone's experience. You know, we had to start creating that space for everyone. It's okay to be you, you know, let people express themselves, let people discover life for themselves. You know, and that was me, you know, and I'm glad that I was pushed to the side. I'm glad that, you know, I had to learn, you know, because I'm now equipped and now I'm knowledgeable and know who I am as a person. So even just sharing like my sexuality with the world, right? Because society does shame us as sexual beings because we are sexual beings. We are supposed to express ourselves and not be ashamed of our sexuality. So that's also another important topic that, you know, people need to talk about is our sexuality, men included. You know, there's a lot of beautiful men out there that are ashamed of their sexuality or ashamed, you know, of expressing their sexuality, and women including. I'm just, as a whole, there's a lot of corruption, you know, so you become aware of these energies. You become aware what's not harmonized and balanced within. So it all plays together, you know. How do you feel about, you know, what I've expressed so far as you know, my journey, you know, growing up as a kid? Because even it wasn't just school. I feel like it was at my workplace too. It was in my jobs. Even uh, my last job, I was working at the University of Texas before COVID happened, and people still look at me. People were like, why do you why do you like to wear pants, or why do you like women, and or why do you like to dress like this, or like, I don't understand these questions. Like I look at my environment, and I'm just minding my own business, just living my life, and I see this everywhere, and I still experience this in my life, but I don't pay attention to it. I'm just aware. So it's not gonna stop me, and it shouldn't stop anybody else from being who they are. You know, just like Jesus said, you know, they don't know what they're doing. You know, and that's something that I had to remind myself, that when people judge me, or, you know, for who I am, for having tattoos, for wearing a hat, and, you know, for being who I am, like, they're scared to be themselves. You know, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to be myself. Not anymore. You know, I'm here to experience my life, and to master my life. I'm not here to have another master my life. I'm not here to have another master tell me what I need to do with my life. I'm here to create the life that is going to make me happy, bring peace and harmony. And then in this space, I'm going to share and give all that love back, because we're all one. You know what I mean? So even just expressing my journey, because I'm healing it, and I feel like that's also a part that I've healed in my life, and I'm glad that I'm able to share this with you, because I feel like I'm new. I was born into this new person, and I just want to also like just you know, just give thanks, you know, to the warriors of light, you know, and to my new earth family, to my soul family, because I did find my soul family. You know, for being misplaced in the world, you know, in society, I found my new earth family. I found my soul tribe. You know, and I'm just honored to be supported, and be united with everyone who shares the same unity consciousness, with individuals who have the same awareness, with individuals who are not afraid to express themselves, with divine beings who, you know, are in that self evolution of self mastery. You know, I know that there's a lot of people, you know, that can relate to us and feel what we're saying and what I'm saying, because you're not alone. And it's time, it's time for you to step into your power and to stop being afraid. I used to be afraid. It doesn't matter where you from, where you grew up, like, embrace that. Embrace where you're from, but just stop letting it hold you back, your past, your trauma. And talk to people. Talk to people, to your loved ones, to your friends. You know, it's very important to be around people that love and support you for who you really are. You know, I talk a lot about, you know, protect your energy, and because people pay attention, people pay attention to like the lack, you know. So I feel like I just, like, you have everything within, like you have nothing to worry about, like everything's gonna be okay, you know. And that is true, because I've myself fall back into those patterns, right? Those subconscious patterns that you become aware of, but you master them. And I'm here to help everyone master that too, right? So let's remember who we are, that we're divine beings, that we're all one, and that we are all here to create and master the life that we came here to master. Because before we came into this earth plane, you know, we had a soul contract, you know, and we came here to remember who we are, and we came here to fulfill our purpose. So when we come here, we forget everything. So this you waking up, like, you being here, like, this is it. This is your journey. This is your awakening journey. Like, you're gonna keep going, and you should be happy and proud of yourself, because you're supported and divinely guided by so many angels in the community, with Lucy, with me, myself, and I, and just other people that, you know, God, divine source, is gonna, you know, provide in your life. You got to keep having faith.
Exactly. Yeah. Firstly, I just want to say thank you so much for sharing your story and your journey, and being so raw and vulnerable, and allowing yourself to express, you know, what needed to come through for whatever reason. Whatever comes through us needs to come through for our own purposes, and for everybody listening who can receive that medicine, that magic from you. And I'm really grateful that you have answered the call to be here, first of all, and to really share so authentically. And I feel like that's such an important part of our healing journey, is to really allow ourselves to feel, allow ourselves to express. And as you say, you know, it's that we're not here to be told how to be, or what to do. It comes down to us and the ways that we want to express ourselves, the ways that we want to be embodied, to be, you know, as sexual beings, and to be as beings that experience and express life through our senses. And that's not just our five senses. That's, you know, we have these abilities, these psychic abilities that we're waking up to now. A lot of people are realizing how much they're actually able to experience through different non-physical senses. But, you know, it starts with the main five senses that we're all used to, you know, through our skin, and our taste and touch and sight, and smell is a big one as well. And acknowledging there's no shame in that. There's no shame in being physical beings and being in these bodies and experiencing life and expressing through our bodies, through dance, through our the way we choose to dress, the way we choose to you know, our body is a canvas as well. If we want to have tattoos, like, you know, I've got a couple. I really want to get a whole lot more. I've got so many plans for tattoos that I want. And, you know, there's no shame in just expressing ourselves the way we feel called to, singing, speaking, And so I think it's really important to acknowledge that there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with our bodies being the way that they are. And, something that I'm still learning, that I'm still working on for myself is like love of my body and love of the way I am. Sometimes still I see a photo or a video of myself and I'm like, oh, why? Like, why do I do that? Or why do I look like that? Or why, I still have these levels of shame of my physical appearance. And it might not seem like it to people, but I still have to consciously shift that. And instead of feeling like disgust or shame around something, like, no, I love that aspect of me. I love that. And I'm so sorry for having been ashamed of that part of me for so long. Like my whole life, I've conditioned myself, or I've accepted conditioning to be ashamed of parts of who I am. But I'm done with that. I'm done. That is over. I do not want to feel that way anymore. I don't want to feel guilt or shame or fear of judgment or judging myself for just being the way that I am. There's nothing wrong with that. And so I really want to encourage everybody who's listening to really to feel into these messages as well, and to feel into what Harmeni has been sharing as well with your journey and your experiences. And like I feel like so many of us have had that feeling of judgment, of like people looking at us and thinking, we sense their judgment. We do judge ourselves, and I think a lot of it comes back to self-judgment, but people do judge us. And it's letting go of that and actually just, people are going to think what they want to think. People are going to look at us and think certain things or feel certain ways, feel triggered just from us showing up as ourselves, literally just standing there or sitting there or just being ourselves is going to trigger things in people. And the way that they respond to that is their own. And that's fine. That's part of their healing journey as well. And that's also part of our own healing journey, because we're all reflections of each other. So if I'm triggering somebody, and if somebody doesn't like the way that I am, that's fine. Like I can let go of that now. It's been definitely a part of my healing to learn how to just let go of other people's judgments and not feel afraid to express myself. As I said, I'm still working on that. Like I'm still here doing the work and still like consciously having to go, no, I love that part of myself and I'm sorry that I've made myself feel ashamed for that. But it doesn't matter what other people think. At the end of the day, it's how we show up for ourselves by respecting, through respecting ourselves and knowing that we are love, we are loved, and we are love, and we can just be ourselves regardless of what other people think, as long as we're not intentionally harming anybody else. We're conscious creators, and we're here to consciously contribute in a really positive way to raise the vibrations of the planet, to shift the consciousness of the planet. And that's through ourselves embodying our higher selves and embodying who we truly are. We can't embody our higher selves without being able to express and being able to share our own divine beings. So thank you so much for sharing that, and for sharing your vulnerability and your embodiment. And I feel like, just even though if there are people who still judge us, but by being ourselves, by you being yourself and showing up and being brave enough to come on and do a video like this and be yourself and show up for people, it's gonna shine your light, and people are gonna be able to learn so much and feel encouraged to be themselves just by you being yourself. Like that's so beautiful. And I think that's such a powerful thing, for you to be to be brave enough to do that. So thank you so much.
No, thank you. You know, uh, yeah, we're divine beings. You know, we all have both divine masculine and feminine energies within, and I think everyone should be aware of that. So if you see women, you know, like me, it's okay. You know, they probably have more of a masculine core energy. You know, and I encourage and invite everyone to learn more about masculine and feminine energy because we both embody those energies, and it's a whole different world. You know, when it comes to those energies, and it's yin and yang. You know, and my name Harmony. You know. Is the reason why I named myself Harmony, and that's been my name for a very, very, very long time. You know, I'm just out, you know, letting everybody know who I am. That's my higher self, and the reason why I named myself Harmony is because I have both energies within, masculine and feminine energy, and I'm here to. I am the embodiment of harmony. You know, I am the embodiment of masculine and divine feminine energies. You know, so that's the reason why my name is Harmony, and it's also like a part of who I am and what I do, you know, sharing that peace and harmony with everyone, and knowing that you can have this harmony within yourself too.
Mm-hmm. The oneness, the beautiful balance of masculine and feminine um, can be embodied in so many different ways as well. You have such a beautiful embodiment of that balance and the harmony of the two within you, and also, you know, I feel like something that I'd like to touch on is, like, I think we spoke about this a little bit the other day about how, you know, it has been such a patriarchal society, and now we're moving into a different phase, a new world that we're creating. But it's not like there shouldn't be any fear around, okay, it was a patriarchal society and now it's going to be a matriarchal society. We're balanced. We're creating a world that's in balance, that's like both working together in unity, in unison. And so it's not like one is more important or better than the other. There's nothing wrong or right or bad or good about them. They just are these energies. They are, and they express themselves in ways that are, you know, maybe more positive in some ways and more negative in other ways. But there's not like, there shouldn't be any fear around the shift in consciousness, and the fact that there is more of a feminine, the divine feminine energy coming back into the world now, which is really beautiful and really exciting. But it's unison, it's in unity together. It's not like we're done with the masculine energy. No, there's still absolutely a place for that, as well as the feminine, and having them together and working together in a beautiful, you know, synergy is really, I'm excited to have more of that. And so, yeah, I'd love to hear more from you, your experience and your perception of what that is, the balance of masculine and feminine, and what that really means. Because I think a lot of people in this group might have you know, experienced or heard about the differences and the similarities, but there might be. I feel like we'd gain a lot from hearing your perspective of what those energies are.
Absolutely, you know, they're different dynamics. They're different dynamics, and we both need both energies. You know, it's even like, it's like high and low. It's just that vibration. You know, so we've have lived in a wounded masculine world, you know, meaning that people have been more in their masculine energy of structure, you know, of overworking themselves, just being just focused too much on work, just not being present in their present moment. You know, it has a lot, because we do live like in a wounded masculine energy world where a lot of people are just not present and focused, you know. And I say that because I was also that person who was just chasing the material world, uh, in survival mode, you know, wanting to survive. And I feel like that's what part of the masculine, the wounded masculine energy comes in when you're overworking yourself, you know, because when you activate your feminine, it's that creativity. So let me just get a little bit in depth when it comes to masculine energy, because masculine energy is structure, is present, is grounding, is support. And there's a wounded side to it, you know, and the wounded side to it is not being grounded, is not supporting, uh control, dictating, you know. And we've seen that a lot in our government, we've seen that a lot in schools, we've seen that a lot in religion, you know, these different dynamics, you know. So when it comes to the feminine energy, you know, it's allowing people to express themselves, it's allowing people to be creative, it's allowing people to be who they are, is allowing people to live, right? Because if let's just say, for an example, I'm going to give you an example. Like, if I worked if 40 hours a week, right? I used to work 40, I'll just share one of my experiences. I used to work 40, 50 hours a week. You know, I used to, majority of my life, because I've worked in the matrix for like 16, 17 years. You know, I started working when I was 16, you know, chasing the dream, chasing the American dream, you know, overworking myself, you know, and just all over the place, just trying to make it. And I feel like there's a lot of people in that rat race. I'm just gonna say right now that I'm glad I'm not in that rat race anymore. I'm like, I broke out of that. And I'm glad that I'm able to speak on this, because there was no happiness, there was no fulfillment for me there, when I was just too focused on just too focused on like, I was focused on, like, on the money, and I was focused, like, on the structure. It's just that blinds you from your emotion, that blinds you from being present with your loved ones, that blinds you from being present with yourself, with actually acknowledging your feelings. Why am I actually doing this? Right? We suppress our feminine energy by overworking ourselves, by overthinking. That's when our masculine, the wounded masculine energy comes in, you know. So just to share a little bit of knowledge, you know, when it comes to masculine energy. And I feel like now, as a humanity as a whole, we're all learning to activate more of our feminine energy, you know, because it's been suppressed. It's been suppressed. Mine's been, I've had it all along, but it's been suppressed, you know. And when we become aware of those dynamics within ourselves, you know, especially like when we build that foundation in our lives, when we ground ourselves, when we realize that we both have those energies, when we ground ourselves, right, then that creativity comes in, that feminine energy comes in, and we start creating our lives. We start receiving, you know, downloads, visions, ideas, you know, to manifest and create the life that we want. So that's why it's very important for us to express ourselves and go within our heart. What do I want? What do I want to feel? What do I want to experience? What do I want in my life? What is my purpose? So when you start asking yourself those questions, then you're activating that feminine energy within, because you're no longer suppressing your voice. You're no longer suppressing your heart. You're no longer suppressing you. So that's feminine energy, because feminine energy is emotion. So, you know, when people say, oh, you're feeling too much, you're just too emotional. Yeah, I'm too emotional. I'm very emotional. I have so much emotions. You know, I'm an emotional being. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, we're here to experience our emotions and express our emotions, and we do that through music, we do that through art, we do that through exercising, we do that through writing a book, we do that through creating a new world. And when we experience, that's why we experience these emotions, because we want to experience life, we want to experience more. So with this human experience, it's going to come with it. So it's a ride. It's a beautiful ride. You just have to become aware. So if you've become aware of this, and you're in this journey of, self-mastery, and you're becoming aware of the divine masculine and feminine, energies, I'm so happy for you, because you're gonna continue to learn a lot about yourself, and a lot about, the universe, and Mother Earth, and everyone that coexists here. We begin to learn how to coexist with others, and how to co-create that new world, that new earth with others. And that's becoming aware of these different dynamics, and balancing them together.
Yeah, exactly. It's a beautiful balance of both together, and that what I feel called to share as well is my experience with the masculine and feminine energies in my life over the last few years, because I've been you might know, you might not know, but I've done a lot of quite militant style activism in the past. I got into activism in terms of animal rights in 2017, 4 years ago exactly, actually, April, when I first moved to Melbourne. And through that journey, it's been a really, really interesting journey of, I wasn't aware of the differences between masculine and feminine energy throughout that, but over the past year and a half or so, I've connected more with my feminine energy. And I got to a point in late 2019 where I had just burnt myself out. I had been so much in my masculine energy as an activist on the streets, doing things that I wouldn't do now. But that doesn't mean that I'm ashamed or upset that I did those things. They were all part of my learning, and they helped shift things for other people as well. But it definitely was damaging for myself, even though at the same time I was conscious of really doing my best to help other activists with their self-love, their self-care, the feminine side of things at the same time. But I was still neglecting that within myself, to the point where I burnt out so badly. I was just like, I'm done. I don't know how I can survive in this world anymore. I felt like I would never meet people who would fully understand or fully accept me for who I was, because I had just isolated myself so much within that lifestyle, the lifestyle that I was living, traveling, doing activism, being outside slaughterhouses constantly, being on the streets, organizing things. And it was just that very wounded masculine within myself of like, go, 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 rah, 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 work, work, work. That just really, it hurt me a lot. And so it got to a point through that time of like really burning out so badly that I realized I needed to really bring in that feminine, or I wanted to love myself again. I wanted to love who I was as a female, and to really encourage that. I realized I needed to shift my mindset from one of lack as well to one of abundance. I realized I had this scarcity mindset, and I was living in lack in so many different ways for so long. And then the more I shifted into this feminine energy, and I wanted to express myself in my femininity more, that shifted a whole lot for me. And then through COVID as well, last year, I was able to just be still and to be grounded, more grounded anyway, in fewer places than I would have been if it hadn't been for lockdowns and everything. I probably still would have just continued traveling and continued being ungrounded and displaced. And thanks to that, really, I was actually able to just be in one place and work on myself and express my femininity.
Right.
Has just shifted so much for me, so much. It's amazing. My life has completely changed. And that really, I feel like that came from getting to that point where I was like, I'm done with that that lifestyle of how I'd been, that was so much the very aggressive kind of masculine energy that I was expressing. And as I said, I don't regret that, but I'm very glad that I did make that conscious decision to actually shift and be more in my feminine, and be, learn more about it, learn more about my spirituality, and thankfully being guided to unlock and awaken and activate my psychic abilities more and more over the past year, because that's been a huge part of my shift, is like realizing how powerful I am, how powerful we all are. We have these abilities that we aren't awakened to. And that's part of the great awakening. That's part of this shift in consciousness now, is for us all to realize we are so powerful. We have so much access to source consciousness, to Christ consciousness, to source, to God, like whatever label we want to call it. We do have access to that, and it's our own source connection, our own connection to that really, like, we can just channel that through us. And then we start to see this unity consciousness that is everywhere. It's everywhere. It's so beautiful. And we have access to that, and to carry these codes within our lives, and to see them and share them and express them all the time, that we start to see how everything is one. We are all one. We are all part of this unity consciousness. And it's just been such a beautiful journey for me to feel and to experience that now. So that's been a interesting part of my journey over the last few years, of having that realization, and now feeling like quite embodied in both the masculine and feminine. Over the last few months, I've consciously said to myself as well, last year I did a lot of work on myself, and creating like a foundation within myself to then be able to now do the actual aligned masculine work as well, to build something like this, to do something like this, and to create a space that is, I feel like, quite a nice balance of the masculine and feminine working together. So I do feel like I'm in much more of a harmonic, balanced place now. And I'm grateful that I was able to shift, have both experiences, and have, maybe more of a wounded masculine, maybe more of a wounded feminine times throughout my life. And it leads to so much more happiness, right? It leads to so much more balance and calm, and like, I can just be grateful for all aspects of the whole experience now. So
Not over stress, not over work, not overthinking.
mm,
Well, just centered and grounded.
mm,
It's beautiful. I see that. I definitely see the harmonic balance within yourself too. And this sacred container is a space. It does have that foundation, that structure to help others. In their life. So I do see that that masculine balance energy within this sacred container as well. And then you sharing and pouring your heart and your truth, that together is, it's beautiful, it's magical. and that's why we're here, present, live, activating freedom. You know, activating freedom. This is what it is. Self mastery. You know, we'll become aware of who we are, remembering who we are. We're no longer wounded. We're no longer that lost sheep, right? I was lost, but now I'm found. Yeah, but because like when we start to awaken, you know, we become aware of who we are and we embrace who we are, you know, and that comes with feeling our emotions, even including feeling our trauma and letting it go. But once we do let go, we have all this room, all this creativity to just create for the rest of our lives. And we become more aware. And we're here. And take this with you, you know, when you go home, like take this with you, because we are all creating a difference in the world. We are all contributing to the greater good, you know, to manifest the new earth in our lives, because that creates a vibration, and everyone gets to feel that energy, because we're all divine beings. We all come from the stars, so we emit that light within ourselves. So just like how the universe and all the stars and the galaxies was created, we have that same light within. So we create that with our creativity here in this physical plane. So once we become aware of that is when magical happens. And that's why we are here, to let you know that we're magical beings. We're magical beings too. We're beings. We're light beings, magical beings. It's beautiful. We do have psychic abilities, and our emotions. Our emotions have a lot to do with that. When we feel, when we're able to feel, because we're able to, you know, we're able to feel our senses, feel what's around us, the energy around us. You know, so when you become a master of that, you're a master. You're unstoppable. You're flowing. You're co-creating and coexisting.
That flow is so important. I feel the more we experience and the more we feel, the more we allow our emotions to move us and to move through us, we can create such magic. And that's, yeah, I'd love to hear from you more about your music and how that's helped you, and what that looks like for you. What's your journey with your music and your own self-expression in that way like?
Man, music is a form of expression for me. It's my passion. Is my life. You know, I just, like I'm also, I just want to share with everyone that I'm also like working on my first mixtape. So I'm working on my first mixtape. So it's on the works. I'm gonna be releasing that, launching that pretty soon. I am you know, working with different artists and conscious producers, you know, conscious creators, conscious artists, you know, and music. I want to empower others through my music, through expressing myself, you know. And if you have a passion, whether it's music, whether it's art or writing, you know, it could be anything. It can even be cooking. It could be, there is no right or wrong. There is no creativity, and passion can be anything. And that's where creation comes in. You're here to create your life. You're here to create, and so you need to find what your passion is. You know, and my passion is creating music. And I have a couple of songs, you know, and this week, you know, I'm working with a very close friend of mine, and I'm getting ready to release a single pretty soon. You know, raising the vibe. Definitely raising the vibe.
Amazing. I'm so excited to hear that. Yeah. Please let us know. Please put it in this group as well when it's ready, when you're good to go with that, and share it. Please just, we'll help you share it. We'll put it out. And yeah, I'm really excited to hear that, because it's such a music, I feel I've been a painter for a long time. Drawing, painting has always been a real passion of mine. And even though my family's very musical, my parents, I grew up around music. I grew up with my parents both singing together, in choirs, and they had their own music group, and it was just around me all the time. I was surrounded by music, and my mom was very well known actually for her voice, for her music, and my dad as well. And but then I think as a kid and as a teenager, I kind of shut myself off from that, and I moved away from it because I think it was too, the memories were so painful, because my mum passed away when I was little, and music to me, I think, and playing the piano in particular, I played piano for a long time, but I stopped playing it because it had so much, like it carried so much painful memories for me associated with my mum. And then only in the last even the last like 6 months, 6 months or so, that I've realized how powerful music is for our own healing, for spreading messages. Paradise Rising Studios now, when I first had got the downloads for it, it was more of a self-care, self-love, support structure network kind of thing for activists. And then around the time of COVID, I realized it's so much more about the arts and about spreading messages through the arts and through our creativity, our self-expression. And so I realized I needed to encourage people to express themselves through their art. That's how messages are spread. And now I've realized how much power there is in music, like in the frequencies, in the lyrics, in videos, in all aspects of like creating this beautiful, like crystal. I see it as like a crystal that has this certain frequency that we can, that it emits for whoever needs to receive the message. And so I'm really looking forward to the next phase of Paradise Rising Studios, which is after this actually going to be opening up a 5-month platform for artists, called Active Artisan Academy. So it's like a training ground, you might say, or a platform for people to share their magic, share their medicine through their art, through their creativity. They're conscious, entrepreneurs with businesses in music, in painting, in jewelry, in like clothing, photography, modeling, like all these different things, acting, cooking. We'll be going into people's studios. We'll be going backstage and interviewing these active artisans and be able to share their magic, whatever tools people want to share, or whatever behind the scenes kind of action they want to share. We'll be able to share that in that container. So I'm really, really excited. I'm really looking forward to being able to open that up and have that available for people. And I'll start off as hosting. Each week we'll do these live streams, but then eventually the idea is for many people to be running these live streams and to just share, so it's like an exponential growth of magic through the arts. And through people just expressing themselves, being themselves, shining their light through their creativity. So I'm super, super excited. I'm super looking forward to being able to do that. And in the States, there'll be people in the States who can be sharing their magic in that way as well. And yeah, it's been an interesting time for us to just have to be, kind of contained within our own countries and not really be able to normally, before lockdown, I was like, I'm coming to LA. I didn't know why, but for around that time where I burnt out and I was in this really dark place, I was like, for some reason, I've just got to go to LA. LA was calling me. And I haven't made it. But when I can, I'll be coming over there.
I want to go to New Zealand. That's where I want to go.
Yeah, so much magic. New Zealand's such a beautiful place.
Calling me, and Arizona, Sedona as well.
Oh, yeah.
Going back to this container, like, it's beautiful that you created this space for so many people that are now going to be able to activate their creativity and be able to express themselves. That's beautiful, because we need more resources like that in these times and in our world, and you're one of the first ones, so like, that's beautiful, so if you're watching this live or you're watching this replay, like, feel free, to be a part of this community, because you'll be able to elevate and be able to create, become more creative and come up with more creative ideas, to co-create in this time in your life.
Yeah, thank you for acknowledging that. It's I guess that's been my feminine has been like receiving the downloads, and I've just received so many downloads of how to actually put the structure in place, or what needs to be put in place, and then doing the more masculine doing and creating and building. But I'm grateful that I've been tasked with this, as we're all divine beings, we're all here with a mission. We all have different missions and different ways of different assignments on planet Earth at this time.
Yes,
And
we do.
my assignment. And I'm glad that I get to do it. So yeah, and as you say, please, anybody who's watching, like, please, if you feel called to join, please join. We just need everybody to be expressing themselves and sharing their message, sharing their truth, shining their light, and we can all do this together. Yeah, we're manifesting a whole new world. So
And it doesn't matter where you start. It doesn't matter where you start.
Mm.
You never know. This community can be for you. Follow your heart. I'm honored to be here and be a guest speaker too. Be able to share my message with others. Your soul tribe is out there. Your people are out there. And you still yet to find your passion and your purpose. Like, go within. You have all the answers in your heart, and go for it. Stop being afraid.
Yeah.
There reach for your dreams. Reach for your dreams.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter what it is. You might be the next person who might just change the whole world. You might come up with something that's going to create a change in the world. We all need each other.
Exactly.
Oh,
beautiful. Yeah. Well, on that note, should we do a little meditation? We'll just kind of connect with our heart space, and then we can ground out. And we've got another beautiful session with Samantha at 1:00 our time. But it's been such a blessing. It's been so beautiful having you in here with us, Harmeni. Thank you so much for being you, for doing all your inner work, and loving, just being the light. Like, you're such a light-filled being. It's such a blessing for us to have you, and to be connected. I'm so glad that we were able to connect. I don't know when we became like Facebook friends, but I think it's only been a couple of weeks that we've really like kind of aligned and been like, hey, I know you.
It's I understand, just being connected with so many beautiful people, so many beautiful souls, my new earth family. Just I feel we connected in the new earth retreat, with Jessica and Sakula. I love them so much with all my heart. My soul family, my soul tribe. I feel like you're part of us. That's where I met you. That's where I feel like we've met each other. So it's fine.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So much gratitude. I'm grateful for the internet as well, to be able to connect with people and find our soul tribe, find our families. Yeah, it's beautiful. So shall we take a few moments, take a few breaths, and we'll come into our heart space and connect with our breath. For anyone watching, if you feel called to join us in this, and just get comfortable, find your seat. You can lie down if you want to. This will just be a short breath and visualization. So if you're driving, please don't close your eyes. But if you can, just get comfortable, close down your eyes, maybe feet on the ground. Just connect with the breath and the light as it comes in through your nose, as you breathe in through your nose. Bring it down into your belly. Feel it there. And as you release, just let go of anything that doesn't serve, anything that is not of the highest light and resonance. Let it go. Breathe in and feel that light as it comes up, connecting with your crown, connecting with your third eye, your throat, into your heart space, your solar plexus, your sacral, down into your root as you connect with Mother Earth below you. Feel that breath, feel that light as it moves through you, down into the earth, and feel that connection. And just release anything that connects you to identifying with things that don't serve you anymore, that don't serve the future, that don't serve this timeline, this earth that we're co-creating. Let go of any limiting beliefs around who you are. Let go of anything that is painful, that is a memory that you can now acknowledge and have gratitude for, but you can release. Release and let go of any guilt, any shame, any fear, any judgment. Just know that you are divine, you are beautiful beings of light. Each and every single one of us, we are light-filled beings that is an expression of source, that is an expression of divine light. We all have a place in the world, we all have a calling. We all have a mission, an assignment on earth. Just allow yourself to explore what that might be. Allow yourself to find who you truly are and what your core being wants you to share with this world, with this earth, and allow your light to shine as you. And just coming into your heart space, bring your awareness into that beautiful portal in your heart, and allow your emerald green fire in your heart space to burn. Allow that emotion to flow through you. Allow your feelings to guide you. Allow your power, your inner beingness to be guided by the feelings that you have in your heart, your emotions, your passions, what you're guided to express. Shine your light. Share who you are through whatever form that wants to take. Just visualize this beautiful green, emerald green fire in your heart. Feel it burning. A beautiful, warm expression of your love. Just allow it to be there. Allow it to move you. Continue to breathe and feel the light of love moving through you. Feeling connected with that breath. When you're ready, I invite you to bring your awareness back to the feeling of it, to the sensations as it moves through your head, your throat, your body. And when you're ready, just flutter open your eyes, bring yourself back to the present moment, knowing that it's safe to be you, safe to express yourself, safe to be heard, safe to be who you truly are. We've got this. We've got this, family.
Well, thank you for guiding us through this beautiful, powerful meditation.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here with us today and sharing so authentically, so beautifully and powerfully. And I know that this really will reach exactly who it needs to reach, and everybody will be able to just powerfully, express themselves from receiving your light and receiving your messages and your experience, your story. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your experiences in your story as well. Your story and your mission will impact so many people around the globe. So I support you, I honor you, and I see you. And thank you for having me here to share my truth, my light to others. We are one.
We are one. Absolutely. We are one. Thank you so much. Well, we will put this on YouTube as well. This will be out there and available if you're comfortable with that. And we'll co-create some magic.
And I just want to say thank you for everyone for showing up today. You know, if you're live or you're watching this replay, you were brought here for a reason. And just know that you're a part of this divine plan as well. So thank you for showing up.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody. And we'll I'm sure we'll do more of this. There's so much to talk about. Beautiful.
Keep growing.
Yeah, keep growing. We'll enjoy the rest of your evening in Texas, and I'll see you online soon.
Absolutely, Lucy. You take care of yourself. Blessings.
You too. Many blessings. Take care. Lots of love. Bye.